Hey guys, Timmy D with DroneMappingTools.com, and in today's video we are going to go over setting up your RS3, RS2, actually any Emlid unit on a known control point. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to do that. So let's say you just got your shiny new Mavic 3 Enterprise in. It's not new to the market, but it's new to you. You've got an Emlid RS3 because it's very cost effective. You're going to use that for your base, so you have an on-site base to do RTK flying on this drone. And it doesn't matter, it could be this drone, it could be the M350, M300, or any other drone that flies RTK. It doesn't matter. But the bottom line is you need to set up on control. And look, I've had this come up over and over and over, so that's why I'm making the video. There's a lot of surveyors out there. They've been in the DC world since the day they started. They've been on a data collector, and then you hand them this RS3 and say, look, you can just pull it up on your phone. It's very simple. It is a completely different process. So it is foreign to the surveyors who have been in the DC world and using their data collector for years and years, and then you get told, oh, you can just pull it up on your phone. So we're going to show you exactly how easy it is to get everything set up. All right, so the very first thing we're going to do is go in and set up a new project in the Emlid Flow App. And so I'll have the link to the website to log in. This is completely free and very, very helpful, very good program for managing your projects. So I'm going to click on New Project, okay? And we're going to call this, I always do mine by date. All right, and this is going to be Mississippi West right here, and we're going to be working in Geoid 18. It's very important to know. I mean, the surveyors doing this, they already know, but if you guys are drone pilots and stuff doing work for surveyors, then I mean, you got to know what CRS, what datum, vertical datum, and geoid you're working in. I mean, if you're 18 or 12B or whatever, you're going to be in NAV D88, most likely. All right, so we're going to be there. I'm going to hit apply. And we're in US Survey Feet. So now you can reproject in Emlid Flow to any other projection. The one thing that you can't do is you cannot change your units. In other words, you can't take a project and say, oof, we need to switch over to meters, or you went out and set up points in Survey Feet, and for whatever crazy reason you needed to switch to meters. You can't do that. So, well, and there's another area where feet and meters are needed and they don't provide it, but hopefully they will. They just constantly make improvements. All right, so we're going to create the project, okay? And here's what we're going to do. So you go up here, click on import, right? We're going to import a CSV, and I can either drag the file in or just choose it. Now, let me cancel this for a second, because here's the file that we want to import, okay? When they send you a CSV, it will never, ever, ever have a header on it. It's just going to be in this format. So you're going to have your name. Usually it's going to be northing, easting, and elevation. But you got to know that. Of course, if you're working in a area all the time, you know your northing and easting numbers. But most of the time it is going to be northing, easting. But at the same time, the whole PENZ, P-E-N-Z, that's for easting, northing. Point, easting, northing, Z for elevation. So it goes both ways. You just got to know. But to import it in to Emlid Flow, you must have column headers. So this one's name. This one is going to be northing. This one is easting. And don't misspell it. If you do, your import won't work. So it's just real simple in elevation. Okay, there we go. That's all I needed. And again, this is Mississippi West. These are in the same. The coordinates are in the same CRS that I set up for the project. So I'm going to save this, and it's a CSV file. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and copy that, save some time. And now I'm going to click on import. Import. I'm just curious. I think you can drag. Let's see if I can. No, you can't. Okay, so we're going to choose File. All right, I'm going to pick this one right here. And it tells me 27 points were imported correctly. So this is all you got to do. This is all you got to do to get all your points imported into the project. And when we go out in the field, we could take on, we could occupy any one of these points. Now the one thing they do, your first point in the list is always the last point when you import it in. They put it's in reverse order. We're going to occupy base 1, but again, we could occupy any of these. So one thing I did want to mention is that when another handy tool where this project comes into play is that when you are processing LiDAR, you always need the coordinates, you need the global coordinates of your base. One of the things that people mess up in photogrammetry and LiDAR. So these coordinates, these are NAD83 coordinates. They were based off of, well, the base unit was actually processed through Opus. And in Opus, we had the state plane coordinates that were produced in the Opus report. So that is the coordinate for base 1. Then the other points were shot in doing RTK based on the fact that this base 1 had Mississippi West coordinates, but they were NAD83 coordinates. So when you go to do PPK on your LiDAR data and you click on global, these coordinates right here, these are lat long, and this is, well, I'll talk about this in a minute. These are NAD83 lat long coordinates. They are not WGS84. I have never done a job where it was not NAD83 2011 for the datum. So anyway, just know that these are NAD83 coordinates. So when you go to do your processing, all the photogrammetry, when you import your pictures, it specifies that it's WGS84 coordinates, and they're not. So if you fly RTK, you must change, like in DJI Terra, you must go in there and say, hey, this is not WGS84 coordinates, but these are NAD83 2011 coordinates. And so what you see right here, this is also NAD83 2011, because this is just the global coordinates for this, and these are the state plane coordinates, which are in fact NAD83. So I hope I didn't go on, but you will need these coordinates when you go in to do your PPK on your LiDAR. You always have to put in lat long, and usually want ellipsoid height. Now one thing I wish is that Emlid would provide both the survey feet height, and they would also just have two values, feet and meters, because when you're entering this details into your processing software for doing the LiDAR, it always has to be in meters. So all the processing software that I'm aware of, you put the ellipsoid height in meters, but yet your job was still in US survey feet, and later you will then reproject. You might use something like LiDAR 360 to reproject your data to whatever state plane coordinates and US survey feet. So Emlid, if you're watching, man, it would be so helpful and so nice to have the ellipsoid height listed in both survey feet and meters, regardless of what your project is set to. So that would just be a very helpful feature. But you guys have constantly made updates. The software, the units are phenomenal, so I am not complaining. All right, I forgot that and just wanted to add that in. Now let's head to the field, and I will show you just how easy it is to pull it up, set your base on known control. All right, so in the office, we went over importing the points into the Flow project and having everything there. You need to add the headers to each column. So if that's something, when you receive your files from the surveyor for the non-surveying drone pilots, you got to add the headers to the columns. For you surveyors out there, be sure you edit the CSV so that you have the name, probably northing, easting elevation, or name easting northing elevation. So anyway, just whatever you're using. So I've already powered the RS3 on. I'm gonna go to my settings. Let's go to Wi-Fi. I do not. I'm gonna unconnect. It's actually connected to the Sony camera. We don't need to be connected to that. So let's turn, okay, so now it is auto connected to the RS3. So once you connect to it, next time it's on, boom, you're gonna be auto connected to it. So now I'm gonna open up the Emlid Flow App, okay? And you will see you got the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi. I typically always just use the Wi-Fi, so I'm gonna click on that. And I'm gonna do a very short video on setting up your RS3 when it's brand new. Or, I mean, they still sell the RS2 Plus. So if you guys get one of those, it's gonna be, it's identical. But we will walk through and show. The main thing is at the very beginning, do not do the setup where it downloads the firmware. You click on the number 3 and skip that. Otherwise, you will have headaches galore. All right, so in logging, it's already logging. All right, so we're gonna go into our base settings. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna click on configure. So whether you were on an average fix, average single, whatever your previous coordinate method was, we're gonna click on configure down here. Now I'm going to click on the method. So right here at the top, average single, I'm gonna change that to manual. And then when you do change it to manual, now you come down and say, I wanna choose from a project. Click on that. We're gonna choose this occupy control. And you'll remember from the office, base was at the very bottom. I click on it. I'm gonna hit apply. Now the one thing you always wanna make sure you got right is your antenna height. So I have this rod, which I now love. I'm using the tripod, bipod setup. Man, just should have done that a long time ago for very windy days. But I'm at 1.8 meters there. And this even though our project is in US survey feet, when you set up your base, it is still done in meters. So I have it set to 1.84 because I use a 4 centimeter quick disconnect. So I'm gonna hit save, and that part is correct, okay? Save, there we go. Now I'm gonna back out. Now, the last thing we wanna do is we go to our base output. And if it's turned to off, you're gonna go to NTRIP. And you're gonna enter in the details for your account. And you will go to caster.emlid.com. That is where you're gonna go to set up your free NTRIP Caster account. I just cannot tell you what the value in that is. There are companies that charge $1,000, $2,000. I mean, it's just kind of all over the place on what they charge so that you can do NTRIP corrections. When you have the Emlid unit, matter of fact, you could actually mix and match. You can have Emlid and other brand units that are being used together in your survey crew. You still can use the Emlid Caster Service, right? So you can have multiple bases, and with one base, you can have 10 rover clients that are connected to that. So you can have a big job site, have one base set up on control. Maybe you got multiple guys running GPS units. You got 2 crews, 3 crews out. Every one of those can be tied to this base. And then you got your drone guy out flying drones, doing LiDAR and photogrammetry. He's the 4th. He can also, and then you got 6 more in reserve that can all connect to this base, and it costs you 0. That's so awesome. All right, so once you have everything set up here, you go to to get these credentials, you go to caster.emlid.com, log in, and that's going to give you what your credentials are. Now, one thing I'm going to do real quick, so I don't have to keep disconnecting, I'm going to go to my, save. I do not recommend doing it in your cellular stuff. If you, I told you earlier that I think I did, you can get 2 gigabyte cards, and if I didn't, let me do it now. I highly recommend putting SIM cards in these units. It just makes your life so much easier. Don't try to use hotspots and jetpacks and all that stuff. They support 4G SIM cards. All the carriers in the United States, I guess most of them, you can get a 2 GB SIM card, data only, for $10 a month. If they don't offer that, you need to go to another carrier. And then, so like T-Mobile, it's actually $15, but when you use auto pay, they take $5 off every line if you're on auto pay. So I'm a T-Mobile guy, so this right here, 10 bucks. What I'm telling you, I'm gonna do it now for this demo. I'm gonna say share mobile data. If you turn that on, and then you connect to your reach and you forget and you start watching a video on YouTube, how do I do this? Tim showed me, I'm gonna watch the video. Well, you're gonna burn through your gigabytes just like that and get a notice that you've just exceeded your data limit. So I'm gonna do it so that we can see if we're online or not, all right? So we know that our base output is set correct, but what we do wanna know is are the corrections being received? And so what you do is on a tablet, you know, all you guys probably have extra tab, you either got an iPad or some Android device that's online, switch over to it, and then you're gonna go to caster.emlid.com. You're gonna log in with the same credentials that you used to set this up if it was a first time setup for you. And then you're gonna scroll down and you're gonna see where it says online. That means I'm online. That's how you know this bad boy is online and it's working. That's all you gotta do. Go there and check it and you're ready. Now, now you're ready to connect your rover. So at the bottom of the page, we're gonna have credentials for being able to set up your rover. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the Mavic 3 fired up. We're gonna record the screen on that, and I'm gonna show you getting it connected to RTK using this base, and we're off and ready to go. And you would do the very same thing on all your GNSS equipment that just needs the username, port, and password for network NTRIP RTK corrections. Simple, easy, doesn't cost anything. That makes it real good. And that's it. So let me get the Mavic fired up. We're just gonna record that and show you we're getting RTK from it, and we're ready to go. All right, so we have powered up the Mavic 3. It's powered up, ready to go. You have to have internet connectivity for your pilot, your controller. So it is very unfortunate that DJI did not just put a slot for a SIM card in here. How awesome would that have been? But it's not here, so let's not cry over spilt milk. But any RTK drone that you're flying will have to have internet connectivity. I actually use what's called an Alcatel jetpack. You can buy those on eBay all day long for $20 to $30. And they will be unlocked. They carry almost all the major carriers in the United States. So you can put a 4G SIM card in there. So that is what I use to connect my controller. I'll put that in my pocket and just keep it with me. So I always normally have my vest on, put it in my vest pocket, and it's with me wherever I go with this, okay? So let's make sure we are connected. I'm gonna open up DJI Pilot 2. Hey, and look, if you, just a quick note, if you have not updated to the April 2024 firmware and Pilot 2 update, you need to do that. There's some nice features. I did a very short video. You've got FPV on, I say FPV, you just have a view on all sides of this drone. They took the sensor cameras and fed the video. Somebody got a bright idea and went, hey, why don't we just show them what we can see? And that's wonderful. That is very, very helpful. That alone makes it worth doing the update. We're going to enter camera view. All right, so I'm going to come and we're going to click, you know, now when the new version, they moved everything to the right. So I'm going to go down this little satellite and I want to turn. Now you have these different, you can set up like 5 different profiles for your RTK, right? So if I do none, I'm going to turn RTK on.
RTK positioning error.
Well, yeah, there's an error because I don't have one of my profiles selected.
Fly with caution.
So I'm going to do this custom network. Do that. And then under that, that's where you have 5 configurations. So you can do, like I have one for my what's called local NTRIP. I did a video covering all the different ways to do RTK. I mean, you have, you got, when it comes to drone flying, you really have two. You can do network RTK, or you can do local NTRIP, which is this connecting to the Wi-Fi on that and still flying when you have no internet. And that is totally awesome. So anyway, just another reason. I mean, you get the, with this RS3, you get the Caster Emlid service, or Emlid Caster Service, free of charge. You get local NTRIP. You don't even have to, there's no fee or some mods you've got to pay for to do that. It's just built in. So if all you do to have a dedicated base unit that you can put out on a job site, one for your drone, and maybe you got 2 crews out working doing stuff. It supports 10 Rovers. So anyway, I've already covered that. It's just so worth having. So we're going to do the number 1 configuration. And this right here is ready, and it even says connected. We are connected. Here's our residuals down at the bottom. So very good, 300s, and you know, almost a 1/10. And when we get in the air, that would actually probably go down for the vertical. But very, very good. So we're ready. Up here at the top, you'll know you're in RTK because it'll be all white. It will tell you how many satellites are connected. And there you go. If it turns orange during the flight, that means something has happened. Either you lost your internet connection, and if you're running SIM cards in that, it's never going to be a problem there. So it'll either be you set your jetpack down in your vehicle and walked away and forgot to put it in your pocket, so you lost your internet connectivity. And I have found that if that happens, generally it's better to pause. As soon as you see it, if you see it go to orange, boop, hit the pause button, come back, get your RTK back, and then take off. I have found that it doesn't resume. If I lost connectivity because I did a moronic thing, like walk away from my jetpack, then when I get it back, it doesn't resume RTK. I come land, get it back. Main thing to remember is don't ever forget your jetpack and just put it in your vest pocket and you're good to go. Well, guys, I hope, matter of fact, there we go. This is the view I was telling you. So you can see, here's the camera, that's the right side, the car. Excuse me. Oh, here's the back, that's the curb. Seeing the pole, there's the left side. And let's go to the front. Hey, Minnie, what you doing? Yeah. All right, here's my VO right here. Man, she's the best VO ever. She don't ever argue. She's good. All right, guys, if this video was helpful, give me a thumbs up. I mean, it always helps. Just give it a like, you know. I think likes are better than subscribing. Subscribers is good, but let me know, let YouTube know that you like the content. If you don't like it, well, tell me why you don't like it. Leave a comment down below and say, you know what, your video sucks and here's why. And then I'll do better in the future, or I won't, I guess. So if there's topics you want me to do, if there's certain things you want me to cover, put it in the description or the questions below, the comments, and if I can do them, I will do it. I am now trying to do 2 videos per week. Some weeks I may get 3 and only 1 the next, but I'm gonna try to average 2 videos every week. I got a lot of good stuff fixing to come down the pipe. Next week, I got a lot of good things. So anyway, just stay tuned. If you want to stay up with those, hit subscribe and you know, that little notification thing, and you'll know when all my new videos are pumping out. But next week, got several videos we're going to do. The week after that, I'll actually be going up to StoneX for training. But then when I get back, I'm going to be just right back at it, doing video. Every chance I get to do videos, I'll be doing. I mean, I'm doing customer training, and you know, when we do sales, we got to onboard all the people and all that good stuff. So if you need a Mavic 3 Enterprise, if you need any drone, any software, just pick up the phone and call me. If that's what you want to do, my number's right down below, or visit dronemappingtools.com. I'll see you there.